All right, let's talk about these Elite Eight games that we have coming up tomorrow. Couple of good ones. We will start with Florida and Texas Tech. The Gators favored by 6.5. The total is 156.5. I like the under in this game. I think it's too many points. Texas Tech, it looks like, is going to be without Chance McMillan probably the rest of the tournament. You know, he's like the Cam Rising at this point, where every week or every game we're like, is he going to play? Maybe he's going to play. I'm just expecting him not to play again this season. And that's a big deal for Texas Tech because he's their best three-point shooter, and they were lucky that they got past Arkansas last night because they really needed his shooting in that game. The strength of their team is down low with Darion Williams and JT Toppin. Problem is, Florida has so many good bigs that they can rotate in, man, with Hauk and Condon and Chinyelu and Holdgard, and they just got all these dudes down low. I think it's a bad matchup for Texas Tech. I think they're going to struggle to score the ball, so I like the under in the game, and if I had to bet it, I'd probably lay it with 6.5 against Florida, with Florida as well. So I would take the Gators, and I would take the under. Player prop that I would look at is JT Toppin, under 20.5 points. I think that's too much. Again, without McMillan, they're going to need him and Williams to carry a majority of the scoring. He's the Big 12 Player of the Year. He's an awesome player. Bad matchup, though, going against all those great bigs that Florida has. All right, let's talk Duke and Alabama. This Elite Eight game is going to be really interesting. Duke's 7.5-point favorite, and the total is 174.5. I had to laugh because last night when this line opened, the total was 161.5, and now here we are, and it's all the way up to 174.5. I think a lot of people saw, obviously, Bama and Duke play offense last night, especially Bama, and hitting all those threes, and they said, yeah, 161, I'm going to just continue to bet the over. Duke is now a 7.5-point favorite, which I think is a fair price. Couple plays that I like in this game, which are kind of all correlated just a little bit with one another. So I like Bama in the first half at plus 3.5. Whenever Bama goes up against these elite teams, they tend to always play well. Like, I don't think Bama is going to play bad tomorrow against Duke. I think if Duke is going to advance, Duke's going to have to outplay them, and they're going to need to play well. I think Bama's going to show up, especially in the first half. You think about last year against UConn in the Final Four. They only trailed by 4 in that game. You think about both matchups against Florida this season. They were beating them in Tuscaloosa. They were losing to them by a couple points at halftime in the SEC tournament. Like, when they've gone up against elite teams, 1 seeds, right? Auburn, Florida, UConn from last year, they're normally high-scoring games in the first half, and Bama normally keeps it close. They normally play really well. And here's the thing about Nate Oates. He's 5-0 in his career in Tuscaloosa in the round of 32 and also in the Elite Eight. He's 4-0 in the round of 32 and 1-0 in the Elite Eight. I think the reason for that is because how difficult Bama is to prepare for. So when they have a short turnaround, it's really tough for these teams to get a scouting report and get these teams ready to get acclimated and adjusted to the speed and the shooting that they're going to face when they only have, 40 hours to prepare or whatever it is. So I think Bama plays well in the first 20 minutes. I think they might actually be winning at halftime of this game. So I like them plus 3.5 in the first half. And then I think in the second half, Duke just kind of wears them down, like Florida has done in both games this season, like UConn did last year in the Final Four. Bama's a good team, but when they go up against a team that's just better than they are, even when they shoot the ball well, they can't beat those teams. So I would bet Bama first half plus 3.5. Then I think you'll get a good live number on Duke if you want to bet them. I also think they're a good money line parlay piece as well if you want to lay the minus 300 with Duke. And I would look at their team total over at 90.5 points as well. I think Duke's going to have a difficult time, or Bama's going to have a difficult time stopping Duke in this game. And then a player prop, LeBaron Philon over 9.5 points. He has not scored double digits yet in any of the tournament games, but when they go up against elite competition, that's usually when Philon plays his best. So I like over 9.5 points for Philon as well.